We used to get hung on trees.
Yep.
Just like black people.
Yep.
We're the same. We used to get all the shit. We used to get hung for the dumbest things, homie.
Yeah.
For correcting a little white kid on not using bad language, for looking at a white lady wrong. They would take you and hang you on a tree, throw a party, throw a whole barbecue, homie.
Yep.
You know, they're not the only ones that went through slavery and captivity. You know, we are actually the ones that went into captivity first in 1492.
Yep. I mean, it's true. I mean, well, but I mean, technically speaking, didn't the Native Americans were the first ones to actually demand reparations? That's why they got land and they got money and they got their reservations, because they demanded that they should at least get
certain ethnicities have banded together to ask for stuff like that, but the only reason why the North American Indian tribes, because they stuck together, bro. Like, you know, they came together. They actually stood their ground. They had shootouts with, you know, law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, over pipelines and over, you know, them just trying to throw them off the land, homie.
Yeah.
You know, they created their whole policing system, you know, and they don't allow the other sheriffs to come within their land. They'll get arrested, you know, and that's dope. You know, I feel that we should all have that, you know. I feel that barrios, gang life is a part of policing your barrio.
Yeah,
it is.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and I got downtime, so I figured I'd tackle this dumbass video I ripped off of Twitter about a month ago. He's talking about Mexicans was hanged and enslaved. First of all, let me just clarify this shit. I'm not going to say that Mexicans weren't enslaved. What I will say, in North America, they weren't. In 1492, those aren't the same people that Columbus encountered. And if my history serves me correct, Mexicans actually are a ethnicity, a group of people that are a tribe blend. I want to say between European or Spanish European, whatever the indigenous people were. And some of them, some tribes of Mexican people have African ancestry. But by and large, most people that were considered Mexican were not enslaved, not in the Americas. Now, whatever happened in Central or South America, I got no knowledge. I'm not even going to try front. Like, my knowledge is vast, because in that regards, I could be wrong. I don't know. In America, I want to say, if anything, you guys were enslaved by the Spanish. But didn't they have, if I'm not mistaken, Mexico had its revolution in 18. Okay, so the Mexican War of Independence went from 1810 to 1821, so about 11 years that they warred it out. They finally got their independence in 1821. Yeah, my nigga, that's black people were Africans and indigenous people from the Americas were enslaved since 1619. Y'all motherfuckers went to war 1810, so I'm assuming around the same, probably the 1700s. It's not the same shit. As he pertains to lynching and Jim Crow, you got this John Leguizamo character talking about Mexicans went through one crow, which was bullshit. Just like his whole life. Nigga claimed he was Puerto Rican, and his dad came out and said he's Colombian. And what is it? Colombian, and his mom is Peruvian or some shit like that. He's nothing about John Leguizamo is Puerto Rican. So this is another fraud trying to get mixed up in the reparations, because they brung up reparations. So he's trying to get twisted into the whole reparations like conversation, because if black people get peeled off, you'll have a crop of Mexicans talking about we were enslaved too, and it's like, my nigga, with the Spanish, not the British or the Dutch. Slow that shit the fuck up. But he's a Mexican gang member, got a blue rag over his face. Can't expect a nigga like that to be that intelligent, right? I'm not gonna say I got some friends and family members as gang members. I ain't gonna say they dumb, but by and large, most of them niggas is stupid. They don't read, so he's just pulling shit out of his ass. In any event, if you like this episode, you know what to do. And YouTube, I didn't disparage nobody. Chill out my videos. No.